All right, everyone, hello and welcome in to Soothe the Seasons. This is 25 days of breathwork for grief and stress during the holiday season. My name is Addie and I will be guiding you through your breath session tonight. So we are on day 25, so this is our last day of our live 25-day breathwork journey. So what we're going to do as we come in and settle in for breathing tonight, we're just going to go through some of the breath techniques and the breathing that we did throughout this entire journey. I will go back through the different types of breath that we did together, and then we will do our body scan, we will do our check-in, and then tonight you are going to choose your favorite modality of breath, your favorite technique. And then when we do our 3 minutes of breathing, you will be able to go ahead and use your favorite style of breath in that. I want to thank everybody who has joined me here, whether you popped in for one day, whether you came in for a week, or whether you've been here the entire 25 days of this breathwork journey, and for you to give yourself a pat on the back. If you are here in the live, welcome in. If you are watching the replay over on YouTube, I want to welcome you guys to the video. So I encourage you to go ahead and find a comfortable seat for tonight. If you're laying down, that's all right. You can go ahead and stay lying down. But if you are sitting up already, or if you're going to be sitting for your breath tonight, we'll go ahead and sit up nice and tall and straight. And so as we know, if you've been here at all, or if this is your first time here, our breath is one of the fastest ways that we can shift our emotional state. When we are breathing consciously, we can, on purpose, then activate the parasympathetic nervous system, bringing us into a state of rest and digest, into a space of calm, and this essentially can lower the heart rate, lower the blood pressure, help to ease anxiety, and really just bring you into a state of calm. And all of these things are a holistic sort of medicine that is helpful and useful in your daily life. We are bringing this in and culminating this 25 days for stress and grief. Stress is one of the number one leading factors of so many different diseases and illnesses, stress-related things. And if you live anywhere near where I live in America, like, stress is just rampant. I have so many people that I know that have moved to other countries, and the one thing that I hear across the board is that their stress levels have come down. It's not so stressful to be there as opposed to being here. We have some of the highest rates of just health issues in the world. And so that's telling, and that really says something. If you work a corporate job, if you have family issues going on, and then also we are talking about grief and those who are in a grief space, and the collective as a whole, and the grief that some of us are still holding and carrying from the events of 2020 that have left remnants and pieces for people. So many things were potentially taken or shaken up, in that time frame. And so when we are actively grieving and actively stressed, our breath is also erratic. It's not calm. It doesn't flow. We spend a lot of time chest breathing from the chest, and not fully and expansively breathing and taking deep breaths. And so we think about this idea of what it feels like to sigh, what it feels like when you pull a deep breath in and you just go, and it just feels potentially sometimes like the weight of the world is melting off of your shoulders. And think about some of the times that you sigh, after a long day, and you finally come home and you walk through your door and you take your shoes off, right? Maybe if you're a parent after a long day of being with your kids all day, or maybe you're a teacher after a long day of being in the classroom, we have these moments of deep breath and these moments of sighs that can tend to feel relaxing or relieving. And so our breath is really important. Not only that, our breath is a companion, okay? Our breath is the very essential thing that is life and life living through us. And from the moment you are born and become into being in this earthly plane, your breath is the imprint. Like, that is the beginning of your life in the world. And you let out that final sigh, that final exhale on your last moment in this world. And so what we do with our breaths in between that time, from the first breath to the very last, is really important, and it makes a difference in the quality of our lives, the quality of our breathing. So our theme for tonight is welcoming the new year with every breath. Welcoming the new year with every breath. And I will welcome breathing into my new year. Okay, as our mantra, I will welcome breathing into my new year. So one of the first breath techniques that we learned or that we did was just a simple sort of oceanic breath, or a deep breath, pulling in through the nose, blowing the belly out. So when we take that breath in, we are breathing in from the nose, but we're starting that breath by expanding it into the belly, filling the belly first, and then the lungs all the way up. And then we hold that and we exhale it right back out through the mouth. And that looks like and then we transitioned that into alternate nostril breathing. And alternate nostril breathing was where we were taking air in one side versus the other. And this is really good for helping to bring like balance to the hemispheres of the brain. I just give one of these. There's a couple different ways that you can hold your fingers to pinch off your nostrils, but for beginners, the easiest way is just going to be thumb and finger. And so when we did that alternate nostril breath, what we did was we held one side of the nostril, so we're closing off one airway, and we're breathing in here. And then as we hold, we're pinching off that side that we just that was open. We're going to close it off, and then we're going to exhale through this other side. And now we'll inhale through this side. And then as we hold, we'll pinch it off, and we'll exhale through the other side. So it looks like in, out, in, out, in, out. So that's our alternate nostril breath. We also, over the 25 days, worked with something called a psychological sigh. This is where we are taking 2 inhales and then we are having 1 exhale. And so this I've seen done both through the mouth and through the nose, but I'm gonna always go with nose over mouth. So here we did it with 2 breaths in through the nose and then 1 exhale out through the mouth. So it looked like taking in a sip of air and then topping it off with another inhale and then exhaling it out. And we will exhale it through the mouth, and it's 1 breath out. So it was inhale, inhale again, and then exhale. And so that looked like And so then lastly, we did our breath awareness. And the breath awareness was really just coming into an awareness of our breath. Right? The breath awareness is not really manipulating anything, but that is where we learned how to check in with the breath, how we learned how to stop in any given moment and see what exactly our breath is doing in that very moment. What is this breath telling me? What is this breath showing me? How am I breathing? And then we start observing. So are we breathing through our nose or are we breathing through our mouth? Does the air that we are breathing in feel cold as we inhale? Or, when you inhale, does it feel like it's going straight up to your brain? Or can you feel the air go in and touch the back of your throat? So we're observing and we're bringing that awareness, that attention, and that intention directly to the breath. And if there's nothing more that you take from this entire 25 days together, it would be to consistently do a breath check-in. Breath awareness session, just stopping what you're doing and literally just taking stock of your breath. This doesn't have anything to do with the 3-minute breathing. It doesn't have anything to do with trying to manipulate the breath. We are simply just taking some time to see how we are breathing. Are you shallow breathing? Do you find that your breaths are kind of quick? Are you inhaling into the chest first? Do you notice that maybe there's tension in your shoulders and you're scrunched up like this? What is going on in the breath? Is our posture fucked up and so we're not able to pull in as much air? Where are we? Where's the breath? And so that just requires time to sit. That's going to require sitting and being and giving attention to the breath. And then the last breath technique that we learned over these 25 days was our box breathing method. And so we did that around day 1 or 2. And box breathing was simply just having the breath at equal parts as you're breathing. So we have an inhale, drawing the air in through the nose. And say we're going to inhale on a count of, let's say 3. So we would pull air in. 1, 2, 3. And then we would hold for 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll exhale for 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we'll hold that at the bottom. So after you've let all the air out, you're going to hold before you take an inhale for 3. Box breathing can be done on any count that feels comfortable for you. I do not prefer counting with the breath, just because everybody's capacity to inhale and hold is at different levels at different times. So even if it's a box breath and it's 5, 5, 5, 5, if you can't breathe in for 5 and hold your breath for 5 and breathe it out for 5, stop. Don't stress yourself out about trying to make sure that you're hitting the counts exactly correct. If that means that you need to start with a box breath and it's an inhale for 2, a hold for 2, exhale for 2, and a hold at the bottom for 2, then that's where you need to start. So this is always and can always be about building up and meeting yourself right where you are. However, box breathing is always going to be an equal part inhale and exhale and equal part holds at the top and at the bottom of the breath. So it looks like this. And I realize you guys can't see anything that I just did, but we did inhale, hold, exhale, hold, and then inhale again. Okay. So those are all of the breath techniques that we have learned in our 25-day breath journey together. And so we are going to get ready to go ahead and come and settle in for our last breath session together tonight. So if you are lying down, that's good. If you are sitting, you can go ahead and sit up nice and tall and straight, lengthen your spine. And the first thing we'll do is go ahead and pull that awareness right into the breath, taking a breath awareness and just observing how you are breathing in this moment at this time. Whatever you're doing right now. So we're just stopping and we're just taking stock. We're just taking accountability. We're taking awareness. We're taking inventory. What is going on with the breath and how am I breathing right now in this moment? And as you check into those things, checking in to see if you're breathing shallow or are you breathing deep? Are you breathing from the belly, big belly breaths, or are you breathing from the chest? Are you breathing through your nose or are you maybe breathing through your mouth? So we're simply just checking in with all of those spaces. And now that you've kind of observed where your natural rhythm of breath is, we're going to bring our awareness and our attention into a body scan. And so for some of us, these body scan moments have really been the only place and time where we've come and stopped to check in with ourselves. And so the body scan is just a simple checking in with how you are doing. This is on an emotional level. This is on a physical level. This can even be on a spiritual level. It's how you want to take a moment to just bring attention and awareness into the spaces of the body. And so a lot of times what we find is that we're holding a lot of stress and tension, and we're holding a lot of grief and emotions in the body, and this stores up, and sometimes it can cause stiffness, it can cause pain, it can cause lack of mobility, it can cause tightness to be sitting in the physical body. And sometimes you don't even know it, you don't even know what it's coming from. And so that's all this body scan is just coming into an awareness. We bring it to the top of the head. And when we bring that awareness to the top of the head, we are checking on our thoughts. We're checking on our headspace. We're checking on our mind. On a physical level, we are just checking areas of the head that tend to store and hold tension. So we'll bring that awareness into the middle of the forehead, where we sometimes will furrow the brow or bring and knit the eyebrows together. And so just bringing an awareness to this area, and if you find that you might be tight or scrunchy or holding any tension there, I invite you to soften in the face. And then we'll bring that awareness down into the jaw, into the cheeks, and into the back of the jaw. Are you clenching your jaws? Are you holding your jaws really tight? Are you biting down? Are you grinding your teeth? Is your mouth open? Are you breathing through your mouth? So we bring our attention and our awareness there. If your jaws feel tight, if you're holding or clenching, this would be a time to allow yourself to relax your face. And then we bring that awareness down. We bring that awareness into the neck and into the shoulders. And even here, you can begin to kind of just move and feel into what's going on in the upper parts of the body, in the shoulders. We bring that awareness down into the chest. We bring that awareness to the heart. Always taking time to check in with the heart space. And for some of you, you may have never even asked yourself, how is my heart today? So I invite you to ask yourself, how is my heart? And then we bring that awareness down into the middle back. We bring that awareness down into the hips, into the low belly. You can bring that attention and awareness into your digestive tract. You can, maybe your tummy is gurgling or grumbling, or maybe you can hear or feel your food digesting. Maybe you didn't eat today and your stomach is like, get in my belly, like you're hungry or something. We're just bringing an awareness to. We bring an awareness all the way down into the hips, into the thighs, into the legs. And last but never least, we bring that awareness down into the feet. And before we get started with our breath, the last thing that we want to do, checking in with the self, is to give yourself a number. So if we have a scale, we've been working with a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being that I currently at this present moment feel grief very heavily. Or I currently at this present moment feel stress very heavily. I currently at this very moment am like up to wherever I am in it. It's heavy. 1 being, I feel all right. I feel good. I feel relaxed. I feel calm. I feel more peace, right? So just checking in with where you are right now in this very moment before we begin our breath. And I want you to just assign a number to the weight of your stress or your grief. And so now that you have your number, we are going to go ahead and start our 3 minutes of breath. And that's kind of what we've been given this thing for the last like a couple weeks, is just 3 minutes. And so granted, our body scan, it takes a little bit of time as we're checking in with the body. And I really hope that as you carry on, that will be something that you have now adopted as a part of your regular self-care routine, is to just check in. And that might take about 10 minutes or so for you to check in with your breath, do a body scan, and, evaluate your emotional space and your breath space and give it a number. But if you're going to do all that anyway, then you might as well take the extra 3 minutes to breathe. So, like I said, tonight you will be choosing your favorite breath technique that we have done so far. And we will begin a 3-minute round of breath. So I am not going to call breathe in, breathe out this time, because depending on which breathing method you chose, that might not be appropriate or make sense. So I am going to breathe, and I am going to hold space for you to breathe, and we are going to breathe together one last time for Soothe the Season. And so we'll take one last breath in whatever format you've chosen for breathing. And on your next inhale, I want you to inhale nice and deep. So we'll big belly breathe, deep inhale through the nose. We're going to hold it at the top. Holding. 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 And you can open your mouth, nice big audible exhale. Allow your shoulders to melt. Allow your face to relax. Allow your body to continue to soften. And now from this space right here, we will simply go into observation. So we become the observer of ourselves in this moment. Just kind of taking a stock once again, and you can bring that into a body scan. So we can sort of take that from the top of the head here, and we're just checking back in with how do you feel after 3 minutes of breath? How is your breath as you begin to regulate and bring your breath back into a normal rhythm after doing your preferred breath technique? What is that normal rhythm now looking like for you? And do you find that that normal rhythm is more calm, more fluid than maybe it was when you first sat down? Also, bringing an awareness to how we are feeling. And when we first sat down, we gave a number on a scale of 1 to 5. And so just thinking about what that number was then, how do you feel now? And sometimes it isn't always one round of breath. Sometimes it may take 2 rounds of breath. Sometimes it may take 3 rounds of breath. Sometimes you can do breath work for, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. This entire process was an introduction for you to get acquainted with your own breath, to learn what it is to create safe and sacred space for your own self-care, to see that the tools are sometimes right here inside of us, and that our breath is one of the most powerful tools that we have as far as bringing one emotional state down to the next. When you're stressed and when you're moving through grief, it's one hell of a ride. Your emotions, your hormones, everything is kind of out of whack. And so being able to manipulate that, being able to have a bit of a control or a handle on that is one of the most important things that you can do. So I really genuinely hope that you do your due diligence and that you continue to find places and spaces where you can do breath work. I hope that this 25-day breath journey has given you some good tools to be more interested, right? Like, this is just an introduction. But if you are interested, go do a little research, find a breathwork teacher that you enjoy, or come back and see me. So I will be having a breathwork, intro to breathwork class workshop on Zoom, and this will be January the 11th. So if that is something you guys are interested in, the links are in my bio for you to be able to register for that. And in 2025, I've already said we are breathing. So look forward to some other classes and some breath work events and some other sensual movement stuff. And this is where we're gonna really hone into our wellness. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me, for being here. Thank you guys on YouTube for the likes and the views, and thank you guys for showing up here on TikTok. Those of you who have given likes, those of you who have given gifts, I really appreciate all of it. If you've been here through these courses and you are watching this on YouTube, leave a comment and let me know that you made it through the 25 days. or let me know how many days you have done. This entire playlist will live on YouTube. So if you're interested in revisiting this back because you just want to continue doing this, then you're welcome to do that too. And then I will also be posting new YouTube breathwork videos pretty regularly. So please come back and breathe with me. And that's it, y'all. We made it. We made it. Grief and stress for the holiday season. We made it. There's the new year left, but you know what? I think the thick of it is beyond us. For those of you that are grieving this holiday season, and especially for those of you who have experienced your first holiday without the people or the things that you might be grieving, I just want to extend like my most heartfelt condolences to you, but not even just that. I just want to extend like a hug to you, because I've been there and I know what that's like, and it can be very, very amplified during the holiday time. And emotionally, that's not fun. It's a wreck. It's a fucking wreck. And the farther you get away from, you know, the actual point of when the tragedy struck or when the grief started, you know, I read a quote and it said, it's not that it gets easier, it's that people stop seeing it. And so I just want to acknowledge you if you are grieving, and I want to just acknowledge that it is okay if you are grieving, even if your loss was years ago. And I hope that you have used our breath work and our time together to sort of take some time to really just be in that and reflect on that and give honor and time and space to that grief. And what we give to stress is a big old fat ass breathwork session so that we can tell her to sit her ass down. Stress is going to take a back seat because we are breathing. So anyways, thank you guys so much for being here with me, and it's been real, it's been fun. This is Soothe the Season, 25 days of breathwork for grief and stress during the holiday season. My name is Addie, and we made it. We are done. As always, have a wonderful rest of your night. Happy New Year. Have a wonderful New Year's. And don't forget to breathe.